with me and smile.
Ready to go to bed with me? Hello, my name is Rick and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel I tend to review products that are under $25, so if that appeals to you in any way, I'd recommend subscribing below and following me on my Instagram at rickskin_. So today, obviously I'm going to show you my skincare routine. My skincare doesn't really differ from day to night. The only difference is during the day I'll wear a sunscreen and at night I usually use a retinol. Otherwise, all the other products are pretty much identical. But before that, I have something a little bit scandalous to mention. I've never mentioned this before, mainly because my reviews are pretty objective in that I really just talk about texture, price, and ingredients. So talking about like my skin type and stuff like that hasn't necessarily been related to what I talk about in my skincare videos, but I just wanted to say because my routine's kind of more customized to my skin type, so I feel like this is relevant now, and that is that I've been on Accutane. I was on it for 6 months, 2 years ago. I grew up extremely oily. I had cystic acne from my face and on my back, and then all throughout high school. And then the summer before university, I did my cycle of Accutane. And that has left me with really dry, kind of combo skin. I'm really prone to blackheads now because my skin turns over so fast because of the high dose of vitamin A that Accutane is. So I really like the products that are hydrating, moisturizing, and are occlusive enough to maintain that moisture. I'd like to say sorry if maybe you feel cheated, but I'd also like to take this opportunity to say that believing that an influencer is more credible or that a product will work better based on their skin isn't necessarily the way to go, because skincare is a very individualized experience. The way your skin behaves and the way it reacts is largely depending on your genetics. So using a model with already clear skin isn't beneficial to you because most products will probably work for them anyway. Instead, I would really encourage you to lock down what your skin type is and look for influencers that either have the same skin type as you, are reviewing products for your skin type, or at least with me, I try to be really objective about it and really go deep into the ingredients, what they can benefit for each skin type, and demo them so you know how they're going to behave. That way you can use your own knowledge to determine what is going to be best for you. That self-awareness is key. So with that said, let's start the routine. So first, I don't double cleanse. And the reason why I don't double cleanse is one, because I'm very dry and I don't really use any heavy mineral sunscreens or makeup that require something like an oil soluble cleanser to remove. So I really just use a water-based cleanser. I cleanse mostly once a day, and most of my products are water-based, so they can usually just come off with that. If I'm feeling extra dirty that day, I'll just choose to use a stronger cleanser, but I'm gonna go in with the KraveBeauty Matcha Hemp Hydrating Cleanser. One of those stronger ones I was talking about was the CosRX Low pH Good Morning Cleanser, or the Paula's Choice Perfectly Balanced Foaming Cleanser. But yeah, gonna go in with the Krave today. Y'all are about to see like what my eyebrows really look like. I shaved them today in preparation for this video, but you know when like you're doing your eyeliner and you want the wings to be the same on both sides, so you kind of keep... Oop. Don't leave the water on. So you know how you try to get stuff even, so you keep kind of taking off more from both sides? Well, that's kind of what happened. So my eyebrows are like nothing right now. And I don't usually draw them on every day, I usually do it for the video, so... We'll see what reactions I get at work. I like the Krave cleanser because it does foam, but not too much to the point to where like I need to close my eyes and do all that to protect them. It doesn't burn even if it gets in your eye, but like the Paula's Choice cleanser, this foams so much even if you use a little bit, so I'm like okay, so now we'll rinse. Water is going everywhere, but that's inevitable for me. Okay, now this next step is really important. Don't let your face dry completely. You want to maintain some of that moisture. You want it damp or at least a little wet, because we're gonna go in with a humectant-rich toner, essence, serum, whatever you do. I kind of consider them all the same step. But I'm using the Hadalabo Gokujyun Premium Lotion. I've reviewed all the products I'm using, by the way, so if you want like an in-depth view of them, they're all live on my channel at this very moment. And the reason why you want some dampness left on your face is because you want to give the hyaluronic acid something to bind to and to hold on to, so that by the time you put on your moisturizer, you trap a lot of that water under there. And sometimes I'll do this step 2 to 3 times depending on how I'm feeling. Today I'll probably just do it twice. Yep. Okay. I personally like to rinse my hands off between each product. I don't like cross-contaminating, even though it's cross-contaminating on my face. But this next step is usually my treatment step, so whether that be like an AHA, BHA, or like niacinamide, or like calming ingredients. Today I'm doing niacinamide, and for that I do the Good Molecules Discoloration Correcting Serum, and I've reviewed this as well. I like the texture of it. It's kind of thick. I don't know if that translates well, but I like this because it has the niacinamide. It's pH balanced. It has a pretty neutral pH. It's like 6.3 something, I believe. So you don't have to worry about niacin flush or anything, which is what sometimes niacin will make your face turn red if it's mixed or it's formulated with a really low pH. So you don't have to worry about that with this. This also has 3 different molecular weights of hyaluronic acid, as well as tranexamic acid, which helps even the skin tone by mediating melanin production. And I use niacinamide pretty much every night because niacinamide is really an all-encompassing ingredient. I talk about it all the time. It essentially gives your skin the energy and essentially what it needs to be able to carry out all of its basic functions to make sure your skin barrier is working as optimally as it can. Okay. Do you guys also make fun? I always make like... Okay, the second to final step is the moisturizer. And because I'm dry, I usually go in, I love the CosRX moisturizers. I use the hyaluronic acid intensive cream the most. But if I'm feeling something a little bit lighter, or I don't want to feel as like occlusive or heaviness on my face, I'll use the Advanced Snail 92 cream. If you're acne prone, I'd recommend this a lot, and it's fungal acne safe as well. But tonight we're doing the hyaluronic acid intensive cream. I use about that much, maybe like a quarter sized amount, and just kind of layer it on my face. I never realized how hard I was rubbing until I did like my my Crave Oat So Simple review, and I saw how like much I was dragging my face. For some reason it doesn't translate that well in the mirror, but when you see it from like another perspective, I was like So I try to be extra gentle now. And don't forget your neck as well. Especially with me, because I'm like sitting on a computer all day, I'm always like this, so I have like a bunch of lines, so I'm trying to pay a little bit more attention to my neck. And now I look like a glazed donut. And for my final trick, final step is usually my retinol. I like layering my retinol last because I like the products underneath to act as a buffer, because retinol can dry you out, and as someone with dry skin, we obviously want to avoid that as much as possible. I just got the Inkey lists yesterday, but I've used a bunch of different retinols. I was using the Ordinary's, Granactive Retinoid Emulsion, and I liked it, but I didn't like the texture. It was kind of like a milk, which I wasn't expecting. I like thicker serums because I feel like I get more control, and the is nice and thick. So I try to avoid the eye area with a retinol because they can be kind of harsh and really drying. I try to avoid my lips as well, because when you're on Accutane, it's inevitable that your lips are decimated. I remember peeling off like almost an entire lip's worth of skin, and they were like cracking and bleeding. That's something that's kind of universal to everybody that's taken Accutane before, and it's one of the worst parts. So just kind of evenly distribute it, once again trying to avoid any of the sensitive areas. I do whatever's left, I put it on my neck. And yeah, right now I'm using the Inkey list. I try to get a pretty cheap, gentle one just because I've already been on Accutane and I don't want to like go through the whole dry flaky stage again. But yeah, the Inkey list, it spreads well. I like that. It leaves my face, doesn't make it feel any drier. It actually feels pretty hydrating, which I like. And I'm gonna have my full Inkey list review up next week. I got all those products yesterday, so I'll have about a week's time to use them all and develop a firm opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's important to know that I usually do my routine right after the shower when there's a lot of steam and airborne water for the humectants to draw to the face. I also usually do my routine in like under a minute. I slowed it down a little bit just for demonstration purposes, but I like to work fast so that I minimize the potential transepidermal water loss, which is when water leaves the skin and evaporates off. So yeah, all of the products I used I have reviewed in the past, and I usually do reviews by brand, so you can usually look at like my CosRX review, this will be in it. My Paula's Choice review, this will be in it. So if you want a more in-depth view of some of these items, I'd encourage you to look there. And if you like this video, I'd encourage you to subscribe below and follow me on my Instagram at rickskin_, where I post channel updates, texture shots, and mini reviews, and really just overall updates of my life in this channel. So I hope you liked this video, and I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye bye.